This conference will now be recorded.
Decision shape is there, right? So using a decision shape, you can call decision table decision tree. Other than that, there is another option for. Suppose if I choose decision table, it will ask for a decision table rule. If I choose decision tree, it will ask for decision tree rule. But if I choose fork, it is not asking for any rule. It is not asking for any rule. So then what is the purpose of fork? How it works? See, if you are using fork option, you will provide a number of different directions outward directions. Fork is purely for the purpose of making a decision path in the flow. Fork is not a rule. Fork is just an option. When work object reaches the decision shape with fork option, it will have to proceed one of these three directions. Which direction it will proceed? If it is decision tree or decision table, when decision table or tree is executed, it will return a result. So a connector with matching result will be looked at and work object will proceed on that way. But in case of fork, if you double click on connector, you need to call when rules. What do you need to call? When rules. So you will be calling when rules in the connectors. So when a work object reaches here, the decision shape with fork option, it will execute when rules. And then it is going to proceed on the when rule, whichever the when rule is satisfying. This was being used since beginning of Pega. So decision table, decision tree were not available. Before 5.4, these decision rules were not available. Only we used to have fork. But later they have introduced decision rules for property set conditionally. And decision rule can also be used here in the decision shape of the flows. Okay, that is a fork option just for your information. Today, if you want to implement, it is better to go for decision rules instead of fork, because if you're using fork, you need to create multiple when conditions. So, but if you're doing it by using decision rule, then all conditions at one place, easy to maintain and manage, easy to understand also. So next we are going to discuss about, after decision rules, what was the next topic? Did I tell you anything? Okay. Next topic is going to be flow action. What is the next topic? Flow action. Okay. Flow action we were working on since long back. We were working on flow actions since long back. From the beginning itself, we are seeing flow action. Tell me, what is the definition of flow action that you are aware of by this time? Flow action is container of section. Flow action is container of section. Okay. Flow action is container of section. What is the provision provided by flow action? It will display user interface. Where? In the transaction flow. Whenever work object reaches an assignment shape, flow action displays UI section. What else additional provision that flow action provides? Submit, save, cancel, all that will be displayed. In which category we create flow action? In process category. So you created a flow action, you called it an assignment shape outward connector. Work object has reached assignment shape, flow action displayed. You entered some information and you click on submit. After submit, this assignment will be finished. Assignment will get finished. Whenever you click on submit button, PRPC internally runs one OOTB activity. What was that? Finish assignment. What is the purpose of finish assignment? What does this will do? It will complete the current assignment. Whatever the current assignment is there, that will be completed when you click on submit button, where internally it runs one OOTB activity. What was that? Finish assignment. Name itself, it is very clear. Finish assignment will complete the assignment. That's it. So now let's understand the definition of flow action. A flow action is a process rule, because you are creating it under process category. Flow action is a process rule which allows users to perform an action on the assignment. Which allows users to perform an action on the assignment. When action is being performed, it will finish the current assignment and work object will be moved to next level in the flow. Suppose there is no flow action, then is it possible to move from assignment to next level? Flow action is responsible for finishing the current assignment, making the work object move from current assignment to next step. Next can be another assignment or decision, or it can be anything. Understand? So flow action is a process rule which allows users to perform an action on the assignment, and when action is being performed, work object will current assignment will get finished, and work object will move from current assignment to next level in the flow. For all this, the responsible rule is flow action. Everyone clear? Where do you call flow action? Assignment shape outward connector as of now. Now, flow action is of two types. Flow action is of two types. Look at here on this. Flow action is of two types. One is connector flow action, connector action. Second one is local action or hybrid. And what is hybrid ante enti? Connector or a flow action can behave as a pure flow action, what we have discussed so far. It can behave as a pure local action, or it can behave either this or that. By default, whenever you create a flow action, it is going to be labeled as either of this. I'll show you. Look at here. You create a flow action like a normal regular process. Navigation is like right click, create process, flow action. After you create flow action, you go to action tab. Go where? Action tab and scroll down completely. Used as local or connector. Local and any of these two you can use it for. If you want to use it as a pure connector action, means pure flow action, what we discussed, that is connector action. If you want to use as a local action, you can use local action. I'll tell you about local action now. So by default, the definition that we have discussed about flow action and whatever we have worked on from the beginning, that is connector action. That is connector action. There is another action called local action. Local action is also called as optional action. What is the meaning of optional action? Meaning not mandatory to perform. You may perform or you may not perform. It depends on your business. You should know whether to perform or not as per the business situation. So optional actions will be accessible during the case processing at the action menu. Where it will be accessible? This is the action menu. In this action menu, you will find optional actions being accessible. Where to call, I'll tell you. A local action is an optional action which you create and request users to perform it based on their wish, based on the business they will either perform or not. So optional action will be, local action will be accessible during the transaction processing. Where it will be accessible? At action menu. This is one place. And look at here now. Similar to flow action, you will create and finally you make it as a local action. But what is the difference? You are creating flow action, you are creating local action. Flow action will have submit, save, cancel. Local action also will have submit, save, cancel. Flow action will display here. Local action you will access from here. What is the difference? Or anywhere else also you can access. I'll tell you where to access. If you are going to access a flow action and click on submit button, what will happen? That assignment will be finished. Work object will move from current position to current step to next step. Correct? But if you perform a local action, even after the local action is being performed, means local action is displayed, you click on submit. The assignment will not get finished. Assignment will not get finished. It will still be there. You performed action, but you want assignment not to be completed. Then that can be achieved by using local action. Understand, everyone clear? By using local action, you can achieve. Example, I'll show you. See, in the OODB PRPC screens, you have one gear icon at files and documents. Click on that. There is a pop-up that is getting displayed. Wait for it. This pop-up displayed with submit, cancel. Save is hidden. Save button should be there. It is hidden. Okay. This pop-up window, what you have got is local action. What is this? You perform it. Okay. You perform it. The next requirement will be same. Next requirement will be attachments concept. Okay. Next concept will be attachments concept. Here you go. I am going to attach one document. So I am performing a local action. After I perform, my work object is still there on the same assignment or not? Let us see. Just let it get completed. Work object was there at customer details assignment. I performed an action of attaching a document by accessing a local action. Local action is being performed. Still work object is there on same assignment or not? Assignment has finished or not finished? Not finished. This is the concept of local action. But do I attach document or not? That is up to me. As per the need, I will access and attach. Local action can be accessed from action menu, I told, right? Apart from this, local actions can be called on click of any control. On click of a button, on click of a label, on click of a hyperlink, on click of maybe any HTML control, on click event, you can call local action and display it as a pop-up window. Or you may display it as replacing the current window. Means in this place, the local action will load. But after you submit the local action, again background screen will be coming. So local action, when you are accessing and performing it, what will happen to the assignment? Assignment will still be there. Local actions are also called as optional actions. Remote ఎక్కడ ఉందని వెనకాల చైర్స్ లో చూడండి, బ్లాక్ కలర్ remote.
Only with attachments we use local actions.
Attachment is one example where you will go for local action. Other than attachment, there are many other requirements where you can use local actions. లేదా ఎక్కడ కనపడదా? ఇక్కడ ఉందా? ఇక్కడ చూడండి, ఇదే ప్లేస్ లో అక్కడ చూడండి. Just wait a minute. లేదా సారీ, ఇక్కడ ఆ రిమోట్ ఆఫ్ చేయండి, ఆఫ్ చేయండి. బ్యాక్ బటన్ ఉంటుందండి. Done. Okay, so that is what about local action concept. Local actions are optional actions. Where do you call the local action and where it will be, how it will be accessible in the action menu? I'll explain you this. Look at here now. A local action can be called from different places in a case type. Suppose you go to case type, here you go, and I'm sorry, I'll open the case type. Here is the case type. Okay, so here you have assignment, flow, entire case type is there. If you open a flow, let me open a flow and double click on assignment shape, double click on assignment shape and scroll down, you see local action option, and here you can call one local action, two local action, and number of local actions. Now at runtime, when work object reaches this assignment, when work object reaches this particular assignment, when work object has reached that particular assignment, then if you go to action menu, you'll see local action being listed here. So if I call a local action on one assignment, when work object reaches this particular assignment, you can see local action. Suppose work object is there at this assignment, and if I go to action menu, am I going to see local actions? No, I'll not see. Local action in the action menu will be visible only when work object has reached that particular assignment. After you finish that assignment, work object will move to here. When work object is at this assignment also, you'll see action menu, but in the action menu you will not have local actions. Local action, if you call an assignment shape, that local action will be accessible in the action menu only when work object reaches that particular assignment. Out of that assignment, before or after, it will not be shown here in the action menu. Everyone clear with this point? Now I'll ask you one question. Local action can also be called from flow under design tab. In design tab of the flow, you will call a local action. If you call a local action in the design tab of the flow, then when it will be accessible in the action menu? You need to say this.
Throughout the flow.
Throughout the flow means at all assignments of this particular flow only. In this flow, how many assignments? 2. Either this assignment or this assignment, you go action menu and see local action will be available. So local action, if you call on assignment shape, it will be accessible only up to that assignment. Local action, if you're calling on flow, then it will be accessible at all assignments of that flow. Local action can also be called from case type. What is the name of the case type rule? What was the name of the case type rule?
P by default.
Yes. So py default. Open this case type. So in the case type, scroll down. Here you see this is the place where you can call local actions. So you are doing change state, right? Always. I'm doing change stage from action. That is a local action called. Jump from one stage to another stage. So like this, local action, if you're calling on case type, can you tell me when it will be available in the action menu?
It will be
All the
always
stages.
available on case type.
It will be all assignments of all flows of all stages, beginning to ending work object. At any assignment you go to action menu, you will see the local action which is called in case type. So local action can be called assignment level, it can be called flow level, it can be called case level. This is something similar to SLA. And local action can also be called on another place, that is you can call it from any button click event or hyperlink click event anywhere. On any HTML control on click events, you can call local action as a pop-up window or replacing the current window. We will work on a practical requirement to see using local actions. Everyone clear? Okay. So that is an optional action you request business users to either perform or not, depending on their business transaction model. Okay. Write down business requirement. But before you write down, you know about transaction detail screen, right? Already we designed it. See, in the transaction detail screen, I have two different information. One is agency information, another one is policy information. So with the current design what we have here, when transaction detail screen is displayed, you fill the details about agency code, agency name, policy effective date, policy term, expiry date is calculated. You clicked on submit. You clicked on submit as end user. Work object has reached to next level in the flow. Is it possible to modify this data once again by coming back? With the current design in our application, after I submit this transaction information, is it possible to come back and modify? With the current
No.
design, it is
No,
not
sir.
possible because
No.
if it is screen flow, maybe next you can come. Then how do you handle the situation? I want to modify it. You will not get access to clipboard to modify as the end user. Okay, we will achieve this by using local action concept. So when work object is at vehicle information, okay, personal vehicle information or either at commercial vehicle information, I wanted to facilitate the users so that they will be able to modify either agency details or policy details. Understand everyone clear? Write down requirement. Working with local actions. Working with local actions. Working with local actions. Facilitate the business users. Facilitate the business users the ability to modify. Facilitate the business users the ability to modify what? Agency details or policy details. Facilitate the business users the ability to modify agency details or policy details. Full stop. Next point. This facility should be available. This facility should be available when the case is at. When the case is at నిన్న మనం డెసిషనింగ్ అంతా వర్క్ చేసామా? డెసిషన్ ట్రీ అయింది. దాని తర్వాత సర్కమ్స్టాన్స్ వర్క్ చేయాలి, మర్చిపోయాం. మరి డెసిషన్ షేప్ రాలేదు, ఇక్కడ పెట్టినట్టున్నా కదా, డెసిషన్ షేప్ పెట్టలేదా? తీసేసానే ఏంటి? జస్ట్ గివ్ మీ మినిట్. ఇది మన అప్లికేషన్ కాదా? ఎస్బీఐ నిన్న సేవ్ చేయలేదు నేను. ఓకే, I'll put it back. Anyhow, I'll be changing anyhow in future. Okay. Okay. When the case is at vehicle information, they should be able to. This facility should be available at vehicle information. Means either personal vehicle or commercial vehicle. They should be able to modify agency details or policy. So after entering policy details, agency details, they submit. They come to vehicle information. If they want to modify it, they should be able to modify the details. We are going to facilitate this when the case is at vehicle information flow.
प्रीति को भी वो स्मॉल पॉक्स हुई थी ना, तो कैसे बिखरे थे किटानी वाहन को भी ना बड़े हाथ पैर पे ना छोटे छोटे पानी वाले बांधे होते हैं.
Okay, so we will be achieving this by using local action. I created a document right today. No, sorry. Where is it? Today's document. This one. Your document name create cheyaledu inka?
No, you didn't create.
Okay. 595. Okay. Next ఏంటి? Working with local actions. Okay. So now creating local actions to modify what? Agency details and policy. Do we have a screen for both of these already available? Do you have any flow action already available?
Yeah, it is there in transaction.
It is there in transaction details, right? So you can create only one of these two. Okay. Suppose user do not want to modify transaction details, you don't need to display transaction details. So we'll create separate local actions. Let's create two local actions. Okay. First one, update agency. Do we have a separate section for this? Unda leda? Agency details ki separate section unda leda? Ekkada undi? Data class. How do you get data class section into work class? By using embed section option, right? Okay, it will take time otherwise we'll not create, we'll create one local action. మళ్ళీ రెండు చేయాలంటే మళ్ళీ నేను ఎంబెడెడ్ సెక్షన్ అన్ని చేయాలి కదా. I don't want to spend too much time, but if you have to do, you must be doing it. You have to do a section here, embed that section, data class section. Otherwise, without section, you can embed directly data class section into work class flow action. That is also same thing. At the time, whenever you are calling a flow section into flow action, above you have option, use clipboard page. That option directly you can use. That is also okay. Okay, let me create a pure local action for this. Okay, right click on this, create process flow action. Ekkundi flow action, pure local action, just to differentiate between the regular flow action and this one. I'm going to update agency or policy details. Update agency or policy details, create and open. And here you go now. Transaction info, right? This is in work class only. Save. I'm sorry. Go to action tab. Then you do what? Scroll down. Go to action tab and then action tab. scroll down, completely scroll down. Here you see, I want it to be a pure local action. So I'm going to choose local action. Save this. Where do I have to call this? Save, done. Where should I call this? So this local action to be accessible when the case is that personal vehicle information or commercial vehicle information. So this is the actual vehicle information related stage. So where should I call it? Do I need to call it on assignment or flow or case type? Where should I call? Where should I call?
In the
Assignment
process.
level.
Assignments were always
Assignment
there. You need to call here. You need to call here. 2 times you need to call. Instead of that, what is the easy way?
Process flow.
Call it in process.
So call this local action on flow. So open vehicle info process. So let me open vehicle info process, open process. And then do what? Design tab.
Design.
Ikkada action అని ఉంది కదా. You have action here, right? Here you need to call update agency or policy details. Update agency or policy details. Save. Completed. Now create a case and test it. In the transaction details screen, you may add a label. You can add one label saying that you can update. You can click on action menu and update agency or policy details. Like that information related you can provide. Anyhow, look at here. Let's go to transaction details screen directly. So now case is at customer details screen, right? So when case is at customer details screen, if I go to action menu, are you getting that? Are we getting that update agency details? Why we are not getting that? Because we did not call it here. So I'll go to change stage. I'll directly go to transaction details. So in the transaction details, so you have insurance type personal, and here are you getting anything like local action? Here also we are not getting local action. Submit personal vehicle. I don't know what did I do with that decision shape. Yesterday I have added and you have seen that. Maybe I don't know how I have removed it. And now agency code 1500100 and policy information also I'm going to submit. Policy information I'm going to submit it to be 3 years. Submit. At this screen it won't show any local action. Submit. Next to vehicle information screen, personal or commercial, anything is displayed, anything, let it get displayed. You will see in the action menu updated. Previously it was not available. Why it is available only now? Because it is called in this particular flow. See, now if I am going to access update agency details, before I am accessing, where is my case? Case is at personal vehicle information assignment. I am accessing it. It will replace the current window. It has replaced the current window, right? And now I'm sorry. Already policy details. I want to change agency 1500101. I changed it. Also, I want to change policy term to be 5 years. I changed it to be 5 years. Submit. After submitting, work object will still be there on the same assignment where it was available before. It was available at vehicle information assignment. After I access local action, after I finish local action, still work object is there on same assignment or not? This modifying agency details or policy details is optional. You may or may not do, depends on your further need. Okay, everyone clear? So this is how you can create local action, call local action. Just as an example, in future, one more requirement we'll work on about local actions using attachments. Let's keep this aside for some time. Actually, before this, we have to work on another topic. Actually, that topic I'll take up now. That is circumstance topic. What is the next topic? Once circumstance is finished, I'll resume local action concept with attachments. Okay, because that is a big topic. Here you go. The next topic is going to be circumstance. What is that? Circumstance. What is the general meaning in the real life? What is the meaning of a circumstance?
Situation.
A scenario, situation.
Circumstance is a situation. Today you come across with two different situations. How a situation will be created? How a situation will be created?
For one action, like for some event, something happens, then one situation is created.
How situation will be created? How it will be created? Suppose there are two situations that you had put into today. So how do you differentiate each situation? Each situation, how are you going to differentiate? Situation 1, situation 2. How you differentiate it?
Based on the fact that is related to that condition.
Condition.
For
Based on a condition. So every situation is going to happen based on some condition. Okay. So circumstance is something related to conditions. What is the rule that we create for condition generally? One rule. Okay.
Decision tree, decision table.
Yeah, when rules, decision rules and all. Okay. Anyhow, condition means property has some value or not, something like that. Okay. Now, as per the situation, your behavior will change. Person will be same. Suppose there is a person. That person, when the person is in home, his behavior will be like with family. As a family member, he will behave. And same person, when the person go to office, then what will be the behavior? Now the situation is different, right? At office, the behavior will be like an employee, okay, a worker at the respective organization. Same person when he go to supermarket, then what will be the behavior? He will behave like a customer. One person is exposing different behaviors. Okay, this concept in object-oriented programming, what do you call this concept?
Polymorphism.
Object-oriented programming.
Polymorphism.
Call it as polymorphism. You call it as polymorphism. Okay, morphing is being done multiple ways for the same component. That is what? Polymorphism. You morph it. So like this, one rule have to expose different behaviors. Behavior means if it is activity, in one situation activity will produce execute these steps, another situation some other different steps. For example, if it is a user interface screen, a screen is displaying some details in situation 1. In another situation, same screen will display some other details. How can we achieve this? By using condition. You need to have a condition anywhere. See, a rule can exist in different variants. Okay, what you are calling morphism, polymorphism, this is called variations. So one person, different variations. Okay, your variation will be like a family man when at home. Your variation will be like a customer when you are in supermarket. The variation that you show when you are there at office is like an employee. Like one rule can have different variants. A rule can have different variants. But there will be a base behavior, right? There will be a base behavior. Okay. And now manager flow action is there. This is base rule, original rule. I am going to do, generally if you save as, what will happen? It will ask you in which version, which class, all these parameters. But there is another option in the save as, specialize by circumstance. What is that? Specialize by circumstance. If you choose this, apart from regular options, it is also showing another options here, additional options. So this is called circumstance by a condition with a property. Circumstance by property. What is the property? For example, age. For example, I'm taking this property value is 25. For example, date I am not choosing, just save it. Save, completed. Now the name of the flow action is same, manager flow action. Let me refresh this. Refresh and go to process, flow action, all other flow actions and manager flow action. What is the difference you see here? Manager flow action has expand icon. If you expand manager flow action, you see two variants. Variant 1, age is equal to 25. In this, I am calling another one. I am calling personal vehicle. Okay, save this. And you have a base rule. Manager flow action base rule is there. In the base rule, what is there? Manager form. At runtime, if you want to call the manager flow action, you will call manager flow action only. You will not call age is equal to 25. You will not call base. So when you call manager flow action anywhere, manager flow action when it loads, it may display either manager form or it may display personal vehicle form. So which one will be displayed? See, whenever this manager flow action is called at runtime, when work object reaches this particular flow action, it will verify the value whether this has a circumstance or not. This has circumstance. What is the condition? It is going to check age is equal to 25. If the value of age is 25, the manager flow action that gets loaded is circumstance variant. Thus, it will display personal vehicle information. If age is not equal to 25, then base instance will be loaded and thus manager form will be loaded. Understand everyone clear? Just as an example, I'm telling. So this is what? Circumstancing a rule, meaning that you are creating multiple variants of a rule. Each time you create a variant, you change its definition. So how do you create a variant? You create a variant of a rule by a condition, where a property with a value, that is called condition. At runtime, whenever you call the rule, process commander will check whether this rule has circumstance being done or not. Suppose circumstance is done. What is the condition? That is matching or not. If condition is matching, then circumstance variant will get executed, else base variant. How many times like this I can do circumstancing? I can do n number of times circumstance for a single rule. Again, I can save as, I can save as specialized by circumstance. Look at here. Specialized by circumstance, age is equal to 30. This time what is this? Age is equal to 30. I can do like this. So if age is equal to 25, variant 1 will be loaded. If age is equal to 30, variant 2 will be loaded. So variant 2, what does it have? It has some other commercial vehicle section is getting loaded. For example, I'm telling. Variant 1 has personal vehicle, variant 2 has commercial vehicle, base rule has manager flow action. Like this, you can do a number of circumstances. Maximum number of recommended circumstances are 31. How many? 31 gaani 32 gaani untadi. Not sariga gurtuled. I don't remember it exactly. Maybe either 31 or 32. As far as I remember, it should be 31. Google it once. Maximum number of recommended as a best practice, 31 circumstance. More than that, maybe some issue with PRBs. That's why they have made us. But you will not never create 31. Don't bother about it. Here you go. Now, what is the reality? Real use of circumstancing. I'll tell you one example. Just imagine you have a cell phone where you have a service provider. For example, service provider is Airtel. Airtel service provider will have some program written in order to calculate the call charges. Whenever you make a phone call charges to be calculated. For this, they have their own calculation program. There is one program, okay, activity uncoding. There is one activity. This activity will get executed every time you make a phone call. Every time you make a phone call, this activity will get executed. Once you shut down the call, activity will run immediately. It is going to calculate the amount of What is the call charges? In this, the calculation is like this. Activity is written. Call cost is equal to number of minutes into into $1 into $1 means per minute how much? $1. 10 minutes if I make a phone call, how much I have to pay? This is the original rule. This will get executed for every customer when they make phone call. This is the activity. Activity name is activity 1. Understand everyone? Now business wanted to make some changes in their processing. That we will introduce a special recharge. A special top up is going to be introduced. A special top up of $10. If anyone is apart from a regular recharge, if anyone has a special top up of special recharge exists, then call cost is equal to number of minutes into 1 cent. Understand? So what should I do now? This you have to circumstance. What do you need to do? Circumstance. The same rule. What is the condition? Special recharge done. Special recharge is equal to true. Special recharge is equal to true. That is there for you. Then same activity variant will get. In the variant you will change the definition. Number of minutes into 1 cent. Now call cost will be, call charges will be less. Whenever you make a phone call, activity 1 will get executed after you shut down. So then it will immediately verify whether this particular person has special recharge done or not. Special recharge is done, then this variant will get executed, else base rule will get executed. Everyone clear? This is one example. Can you tell me any other example, something like this?
Prime user.
Yes. See, whenever you are going to just purchase a product, okay, billing should be done, right? So there is an activity, billing calculation. Activity is there. In that, total amount is equal to total amount. That's it. Total amount is equal to total amount. Ade logic. Already total amount calculated. Total amount calculated. Total calculation is done. Total amount is equal to total amount. This is the original rule. Now this has been circumstanced. What is the condition? Circumstance condition. Customer type is equal to gold. Calculation is done. You got some total amount. Then total amount finally again is equal to total amount minus 10%. Whenever your purchase is done, whenever you go to billing counter, when they press billing for this customer, this rule always billing calculation rule will get executed. But before it gets executed, at the time it will verify what is the customer type based on your phone number, based on your history, and based on your plan. Customer type is gold, then circumstance instance will get executed. Total will be calculated plus it will be minused by and it is going to be reduced by 10%. I will do one more type circumstancing where customer type is equal to platinum. Then how much percentage? 20. One more circumstance I will do where customer type is equal to diamond. Then it is going to be, let's say, 25%. Else base rule. Understand everyone clear? So this is how you can implement circumstance. But I don't want this all the time. I need certain time period to be applied. Not every time I will give this discount. If the purchase is happening only between December 1st to Jan 31st, between these 2 months only I want. So if you are purchasing November 30, November 29, or before December 1st, if you are purchasing any type of customer you are, circumstance should not be applicable to you. Should not be. After from February 1st onward, after Jan 31st, if you are purchasing, then this should not be applicable. You create circumstance, okay. Circumstance I want to be applicable between a specific time period by dates and time. That can be done by using a date qualifier. At the time while you circumstance, Apart from this property and value, you will have a date qualifier. PX create date time. PX, for example, I'm telling it is not only this property, any property it can means the purchase date time. On the day you purchase only, transaction will be created, correct? So date time falling between this month first to this month ending. So if you are going to purchase after 31st of August, means September 1st or later, if you purchase, even though age is 25, circumstance won't be executed. This is called date qualifier. Circumstance you are going to limit by a date range. Okay, this is optional actually. This is not mandatory. So discount you wanted to give to customers, but not all the time throughout the year. So customer type gold, satisfied, but date should be between December 1st to Jan 31st. Before December 31st, even though you are a gold customer, base rule should be executed. So if you want to achieve that, then you will go for circumstancing with date qualifier. Date qualifier is optional. Everyone clear with the concept of circumstancing? So here in the circumstancing, how many properties are involved? Date qualifier optional, I told, right? In the condition, how many properties are involved? Only one property is involved. With if you remove our date qualifier you should not consider, that is optional. How many properties are involved in the condition? Only one. If I want more than one property, then in this way it is not possible. This is called as single property circumstance with optional date qualifier. Circumstancing is of two types: single property circumstance, second one is multi property circumstance, or you also call it as template circumstance. What do you call it? Single property circumstance means only one property involves in the circumstancing condition with an optional date qualifier. You can easily guess and tell me what is meant by multi property circumstance. In the condition more than
We can use
one
multiple
property involved.
Property.
If you wanted to create a circumstance where the condition is based on property A, B, C, three properties, it is not possible by using single property circumstance. It is possible by using multi property circumstance or template circumstance. You call it as template circumstance. Everyone clear? What is circumstancing? Circumstancing is creating multiple variants of a single rule based on condition. Okay. When you do circumstancing, you will be using a property and condition with an optional date qualifier, that is called a single property circumstance. When you do circumstance, if the condition involves more than one property, then that is multi-property circumstance. Everyone clear? So if you are dealing with multi-property circumstance to add more than one property in the condition, then you need to create two different rules under technical category. Under technical category, you need to create a circumstance template rule and a circumstance definition rule. First, you create a template rule. Template rule name, look at here, template 1. Let's say template 1, create and open. You create this, and template is going to ask you what are the properties involved in the condition. Property 1, property 2, n number of properties you can add. Property 3. What about this one? How many properties are involved in the condition now? 3 properties are involved. Template only takes what are the properties that are going to be involved in the condition. After you create template rule, next level you need to create what? Definition rule, circumstance definition. At the time of creating definition, you will give the name of the definition. It will ask you what is the template. You will choose the template. Now you are linking template with definition. Now the definition is going to show the template properties. Definition is going to show what? Template. Now you write condition 1, 2, 3, add one more. I am just giving the values. It can be anything. So now you can add one more. It looks like a decision table, right? But it is not decision table. What is missing here in this? What is missing?
Result.
There is no
Value.
there is no written statement. So only either this condition satisfied are this condition satisfied, or any one of all these conditions satisfies, then circumstance rule will get executed. Now you see, when you do circumstance template, here you go, template 1 definition. This is what I have given, correct? This coming in there. Now whenever this rule is being called, it will execute all these conditions. Any one of these conditions satisfies, then circumstance instance will get executed, else base instance will get executed. Write down business requirement. We will work on single property, and if you can design your own requirement for multi-property. That is not so mandatory to do all, because there is no difference. Only difference is you create one property with condition or multiple properties. Write down business requirement. Working with circumstancing, we will do tomorrow, but today you write the requirement. Working with circumstance. Meanwhile, I'll attach the documents. మీకు ఈరోజు థియరీ ఏం చెప్పాను? 590 flow action kada. 595 practical first time attach. Just give me a minute. Flow action, circumstance, inka
local action.
flow action lo local action lo untadi. Okay, so okay, write down implement the business requirement. Implement the business requirement. Implement the business requirement which we have done by using. Implement the business requirement which we have done by using decision tree comma decision shape. Instead of implement, you write down like this. Redesign the business requirement. Redesign, in place of implement at the very beginning, you might mention redesign the business requirement which we have done by using decision tree and decision shape. Redesign the business requirement which we have done by using decision tree and decision shape with the concept of circumstancing. So we will implement the same by using circumstancing is not an alternate approach for decision tree or decision shape, but that can be done here. Circumstancing is a concept of modifying the behavior of a rule conditionally. Based on condition, rule behavior you can change. Means the steps inside rule can be added differently. So based on the circumstance variant means different steps. Base variant means different steps will get executed. So whatever the requirement which we have implemented by using decision tree concept and decision shape, that means if you choose insurance type personal vehicle screen should be displayed. If you choose insurance type commercial, then commercial vehicle screen should be displayed. This we are going to achieve by using the concept of circumstance. Make sense, everyone? Clear? You can wind up for today. We'll continue tomorrow to work on this practical requirement. This can be done by circumstancing either section rule or flow action rule. I'll teach you by circumstancing flow action. After you finish the requirement, delete those and do the same by circumstancing section. What was the question that you are trying to ask someone online?
Yeah, sir, I have one question related to page list, sir.
Yeah, what is the question?
Yeah, when working with page list, we are selecting the source as a property. But we have some another options called report definition and data page. For example, I wanted to display. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes. See, if you are displaying page list table layout, if you're using, you can either use page list or report definition or data page with list structure. Any of these three you can use. What is
Okay.
the question?
So yeah, for example, if I wanted to display some student or employee's name based on branch or anything, when after clicking the submit button using report definition, I will get all the information from the table. If I
Okay.
want to do it in the UI using page list, so how should the options be, sir? The source I'll select it as report definition.
See, when you are using source as a report definition, suppose you enter student name. Okay, you search by student ID. How many records it will retrieve?
Only one.
Only one record. You will display only one record. You don't need page list for that. You need only page. Suppose you search student by first name, then
Yeah,
the
many
chance is there you will get more than one record. More than one record means what do you need to do?
page list.
Page list. Page list means you add table layout. There you are going to call either your own page list, or you might be calling report definition or a data page of type list structure. You don't need to do anything. If you are using report definition, create a report definition, pass the parameter to it. So once you enter and on click of the button, then you refresh the UI. Report definition will run and it will fetch the data because you are
In the
passing the parameter. Same concept
source
with the data page. But
yeah,
if it is
so
activity, hold on. But if it is activity, on click of button you call activity, right? Then source will be page list 2, for example. On click of act button, you call activity, do obj browse. You'll get the data onto page list 1. From page list 1, you assign to page list 2 and refresh the UI. Clear?
yes, sir. Thank you.
You need to do that additional property set. Okay.
Okay.
Fine. We'll
Thank
continue tomorrow.